He used people for money rituals. Until he discovered his daughter was next. This story is about redemption, the consequences of one's actions, and the power of love and forgiveness. Welcome to the Savannah Storytellers channel, where we give you the best African talks, love stories, folklore and more. Please like, share and subscribe. We appreciate your support. Now back to the story. Obinna was a man of humble beginnings, born in a small village located in the southeastern part of Nigeria. Despite the poverty surrounding him, he had an unyielding ambition for wealth and power. He watched with envy as the rich men from nearby towns drove their luxury cars and lived in grand houses. Determined to change his fortune, Obinna sought the guidance of a powerful witch doctor known for his dark voodoo. The witch doctor, an old man with eyes that seemed to pierce into one's soul, listened to Obinna's plea. He agreed to help Obinna but warned him of the consequences. Wealth obtained through dark means required continuous sacrifices. Obinna, blinded by his desire, readily agreed. The ritual was gruesome. Obinna had to provide human sacrifices, starting with strangers and then moving to those closer to him. Over 10 years, Obinna had sacrificed 20 people, including his wife and mother. Businesses flourished under his touch, lands were acquired, and soon, he became one of the richest men in the region. His mansion stood as a testament to his newfound status, complete with expensive cars and lavish parties. Years passed, and Obinna continued his rituals, appeasing the spirits with lives, all the while growing more paranoid and ruthless. His wealth grew, but so did the whispers of his dark deeds. Villages began to disappear mysteriously, and fear gripped the community. Obinna, however, remained untouched, protected by his wealth and the supernatural forces he had bound himself to. One day, the witch doctor summoned Obinna to his shrine. The old man's face was grave, and Obinna felt a chill run down his spine. "The spirits demand a greater sacrifice," the witch doctor said. "Your daughter, Adana, must be the next offering." Obinna's heart stopped. Adana was his only child, the light in his dark world. She was a bright, spirited 12-year-old girl, loved by everyone who met her. The thought of losing her was unbearable. Yet, he knew the consequences of defying the spirits. His wealth, his power, everything he had worked for, would be stripped away, and worse, the spirits would come for him. Torn between his love for his daughter and his fear of losing everything, Obinna wrestled with his conscience. He secluded himself in his mansion, avoiding Adana, who sensed her father's turmoil but didn't understand its source. Days turned into nights, and Obinna's health began to decline. The wealth that had once brought him joy now felt like a curse, weighing heavily on his shoulders. In a moment of clarity, Obinna decided he could not sacrifice his daughter. He confronted the witch doctor, his voice trembling but resolute. "I will not harm Adana," he declared. "Take everything back. I choose my daughter." The witch doctor's eyes gleamed with a strange mixture of pity and approval. "You have made a wise choice, Obinna, though it comes with a price. You will lose all your wealth, and the spirits will claim their due. But you will save your soul and your daughter." As Obinna returned home, he found a strange peace washing over him. He gathered Adana in his arms, feeling her warmth and innocence. That night, a storm raged, tearing through his mansion, destroying his possessions, and leaving nothing but ruins. The spirits took their due, but Obinna remained unharmed, holding his daughter close. Obinna and Adana left the village to settle into their new life in the distant town, the shadow of his past loomed ever present. By day, Obinna worked tirelessly on the farm, pouring his energy into the soil, watching it yield its fruits, and finding a semblance of peace. By night, however, the ghosts of those he had sacrificed returned to haunt him. Their faces, twisted in pain and sorrow, filled his dreams, and their whispers echoed in his mind, accusing and relentless. Obinna's sleep became restless, and his health began to wane. Adana noticed the toll it was taking on him and grew increasingly concerned. Despite his efforts to shield her from his torment, she sensed that something was deeply wrong. Obinna realized that to truly escape the grasp of his past, he needed to confront it head-on. One evening, Obinna sat Adana down and explained that they needed to return to their village. Confusion and fear flickered across her face, but she trusted her father's judgment. With heavy hearts, they made the journey back to the village, the place where Obinna's journey into darkness had begun. Upon their arrival, the villagers were shocked to see Obinna. His once grand mansion lay in ruins, and his former grandeur had all but disappeared. Murmurs spread quickly, and soon, the village elders called for a gathering to hear Obinna's story. Obinna stood before them, his heart pounding, as he confessed his sins. With a voice filled with remorse, Obinna recounted his dealings with the witch doctor, the sacrifices he had made, and the wealth he had amassed through such heinous acts. The villagers listened in stunned silence, their faces a mixture of horror and pity. Adana stood by her father's side, her presence a testament to his final, redemptive act. When Obinna finished, the elders deliberated. They recognized the sincerity of his confession and the torment he had endured. They decided that while Obinna's actions were unforgivable, his willingness to confess and seek redemption must be acknowledged. They decreed that Obinna would stay in the village and work to atone for his sins through service to the community. Over the following months, Obinna dedicated himself to helping the village. He repaired homes, tended to the sick, and offered his farming expertise to improve crop yields. Though the ghosts of his past never fully disappeared, their visits grew less frequent. Obinna found solace in his work and the gradual acceptance of the villagers. Adana thrived in the village, her bright spirit shining through despite the hardships. She made friends and grew into a compassionate, strong young woman, her father's teachings deeply ingrained in her heart. As years passed, Adana blossomed into a remarkable young woman. Her beauty and kindness captured the hearts of many in the village, but it was Ugo, a hard-working and sincere young man, who won her affection. Ugo's family was one of the most respected in the village, known for their integrity and generosity. Ugo's father, Chikudi, however, had always harbored a deep-seated grudge against Obinna, though the reason remained unspoken in their household. Unbeknownst to Adana and Ugo, Chikudi's grudge stemmed from a dark past. His wife, Ugo's mother, had mysteriously disappeared years ago, one of the many victims of Obinna's quest for wealth. Chikudi had never forgiven Obinna and swore to keep his distance from the man who had destroyed his family. Despite Chikudi's silent bitterness, Adana and Ugo's love grew stronger. They spent countless days together, sharing dreams of a future built on love and mutual respect. When Ugo finally gathered the courage to approach his father and express his desire to marry Adana, Chikudi's reaction was swift and harsh. "You will not marry that girl," Chikudi declared, his voice filled with anger. "Her father is a cursed man, responsible for the suffering of many, including your own mother." Ugo was taken aback, having never heard the full story of his mother's disappearance. He pleaded with his father to reconsider, but Chikudi remained resolute. Heartbroken, Ugo turned to Adana, who was equally devastated by the news. They knew their love was true, but the shadow of Obinna's past loomed large over their future. Obinna, sensing the turmoil in his daughter's heart, approached her gently one evening. "Adana, my child, tell me what troubles you." With tears in her eyes, Adana explained the situation. Obinna's face grew solemn as he listened, understanding the pain he had caused not only to Chikudi but to his own daughter. He knew he had to find a way to make amends, to heal the wounds he had inflicted upon the village and his family. Determined, Obinna sought a meeting with Chikudi. He approached the elder man with humility and respect, fully aware of the depth of his transgressions. Chikudi, I come to you not as the man I once was, but as a father seeking forgiveness and a chance to right my wrongs. Chikudi's eyes were cold, but he allowed Obinna to speak. With a voice filled with remorse, Obinna recounted his journey of darkness and his struggle for redemption. He spoke of the sacrifices he had made, including the ultimate decision to save his daughter at the cost of his wealth and power. Obinna's honesty and genuine repentance began to chip away at Chikudi's hardened heart. I know I cannot undo the pain I have caused, Obinna concluded, his voice trembling. But I beg you, allow our children to build a future free from the shadows of my past. Let Adana and Ugo's love be a beacon of hope and redemption. Chikudi was silent for a long time, wrestling with his emotions. The memory of his beloved wife was still raw, but he saw the sincerity in Obinna's eyes and felt the weight of his own grief begin to lift. Finally, he spoke, his voice softening. Obinna, your actions have caused immeasurable pain, but your repentance is genuine. If Ugo and Adana's love can bring healing to our families, then I will not stand in their way. Tears of relief and gratitude filled Obinna's eyes as he bowed his head in thanks. The village, too, began to see the transformation in Obinna, and slowly, their hearts softened towards him. The path to redemption was not easy, but step by step, Obinna rebuilt the trust he had shattered. In a joyous ceremony attended by the entire village, Adana and Ugo were married, their love symbolizing a new beginning for both families. Chikudi, though still mourning his wife, found solace in seeing his son happy and in witnessing Obinna's unwavering commitment to atonement. Obinna continued to dedicate his life to serving the village, his actions speaking louder than words. The ghosts of his past no longer haunted him as frequently, and he found peace in the simple joys of life, surrounded by those he loved. Through love, humility, and the courage to face his darkest deeds, Obinna demonstrated that true repentance could pave the way for forgiveness and a brighter future. Adana and Ugo's marriage became a living testament to the power of redemption and the enduring strength of love. In the end, Obinna learned that true wealth was not in riches but in the bonds of family and the purity of one's soul. The price he paid was high, but it brought him the peace he had always sought. His journey from darkness to redemption served as a powerful reminder to the villagers: the path to true fulfillment lies in love, integrity, and the courage to face one's past. As Obinna reflected on his life, he knew he had made the right choice. His legacy would not be one of wealth and power, but of redemption and the enduring strength of the human spirit. And in that, he found a peace that no amount of riches could ever bring. If you like this story, kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'd like to hear from you. Drop a comment on what you think about this story. See you in the next episode. Bye.